Hello everyone, my name is Eva. I've been stuck in Vermont for 10 years. That's not entirely accurate. My mother brought us to Johnson, Vermont when I was 6 years old. We came there from New York City. So thanks, Mom. She's in the audience tonight. Love you lots. So I didn't actually start to feel stuck here until I was 11 years old. Witness the teen angst on display. You probably figured out by now this was back in the dark ages, pre-internet. Those years were hard because I couldn't find many people to connect with. I felt isolated in the backwoods of Vermont until I got to San Francisco. So I got unstuck when I was 15. I left Vermont. I went to Indiana. I went to Massachusetts for college. I had layovers in New York and England, and then I spent a decade in Northern California jumping around just like that. And I always came home to visit my family in Vermont at least once a year. So I moved back here when I turned 30. I was ready to put down roots, buy a house, and belong someplace permanently. For most people, this means starting a family. But for me, this meant giving birth to a video series. And there I am at Wake Robin with the beekeepers. For the past 10 years, I've traveled all over the state. I've interviewed hundreds of people, possibly thousands, I haven't counted, sharing their stories with our neighbors and sometimes with the world. And I've made 475 episodes, just finished one last night, and they've gotten more than 4 million views online. There I am, I'm interviewing Abe Lincoln. I work for 7 days, and with their help, I created my dream job. I'm an artist, and I get paid to do what I love. And did I think this gig would last 10 years? No. Am I glad that it did? Yes, very glad. There I am with Sweet Pea, the sheep. She's famous. So everyone has story ideas. I get hundreds of pitches, often at the co-op, the movies, or doing a shoot. I got one tonight, contra dancing, thank you. I cultivate relationships with people so they call me first. And if there's a unique story, I'm the one they call. I like to go off the beaten path, find obscure people that no one knows. There I am with some cows. I cover quirky Vermont artists and people who are passionate about something, like everyone we heard here tonight. And yes, sometimes I interview cows. I also make sure there's a visual element to the story, because a video with only talking heads is pretty boring. That's the penguin plunge. I like to get into the spirit of an event when possible, whether that means jumping into frozen Lake Champlain or dressing up in outlandish costumes. I experiment and try to break the mold to keep myself interested and to keep you guys guessing. So one week we got stuck inside a Vermonter's colon for a colonoscopy. And one week we went back in time to the Civil War. Note my microphone, it's so period. I am particularly proud of a video I made about suicide prevention, and I am planning a scripted musical for my upcoming 500th episode. So that is Emma and Mason. We're at the University of Vermont Children's Hospital. That's a video I made about Art from the Heart. It's a program organized by Burlington City Arts. I love interviewing kids. I love it when they take over the camera like they're doing there. And to quote Emma, I know a good sign of art, that when you get messy, that means you're a good artist. So there's my messy editing timeline. This is what I do every week. People often tell me what a fun job I have, and it's totally true, but I will tell you a secret, just between us. It nearly kills me. Every week, I bleed a little bit into every video, and every all-nighter shaves weeks off my life. And yeah, that's my brain after editing all night. That's what it feels like. And I just finished one, as I said, so pardon if I'm a little foggy at the moment. I spend about 30 to 40 hours a week editing video, trying to tease the story out from hours of footage. So the process is a lot like whittling or weaving, or if you remember the card game Memory, it takes a lot of brains. There's something almost cosmic when you find the right cut, the perfect transition, or the ideal music choice. Every video that I've ever made has multiple mistakes, but I've had to kind of grow to love those rough edges over time because really I have no choice. And there I am. I'm with my friends Jen and Lee Tran at Allure Nail Salon in Burlington. I do my nails there. I've been doing my nails there for years, and and I figured I should do a video about them. And I often do become friends with the people that I make videos about. So most weeks I produce overlapping stories. I plan the next videos while I'm making the current one. Sometimes shoots fall through and I scramble. And I generally work about 7 days a week, which is why I work for 7 days. People sometimes ask me, if you feel stuck here, why not leave? Some viewers get offended by the name of my series, and one guy threatened to stop watching unless I changed the name. And a Boston newscaster once joked, well, why not call it Stuck on Vermont? Yeah, that's not gonna happen. So I think being stuck has a bad rap. We get stuck in ruts, mud, and snow. Maybe getting stuck here after a lifetime of bouncing around was a perfect excuse for me to get to know my community and have a sense of place within it, to feel useful and connected. It blows my mind how many people have welcomed me into their homes and their lives and shared their passions with me. I think of all the people I've met through the video series, many of whom have been stuck here longer than I have, and have become part of the fabric of this state. Working my way into that rich tapestry is a privilege, and it's endlessly entertaining for me as an amateur sleuth. The work I do gives my life meaning, and I'm very grateful for that. So I'm Eva Sollberger, and I'm happy to be stuck in Vermont with all of you. And I have free pins if anybody wants a pin. So come see me after the presentation.